Yo, what's up, my people, mi gente? Welcome to another episode of What's Next. Before we start, I want to say thank you to all the people that have supported me, those that are supporting the podcast, that are allowing me to continue with this platform to allow others to hear their voices. So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to one of my main sponsors, Simpatico Real Estate. Thank you to Tommy Morrison, Simpatico Real Estate Group. You can call them, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, or you can contact through their website for all your real estate needs. Contact Simpatico Real Estate Group. Second, I want to say thank you to my man Rudy from Inkhead Designs. Rudy's located in the south end of our city. He's the one that has hooked me up with my banner. He does all my decals, everything and anything that we need. Um, Next is CWC Hosters, my man Jeremy. I definitely want to show you some of the stuff that he's given me to display. Um, do we want to pan in on this one a little bit and come in close? Some of the holsters that Jeremy makes, okay? He's got the holsters with the handcuffs uh, and magazine pouch, okay? Some really nice equipment. He's got that 6-hour P365 holster. He just hooked me up with this. I love it. It doesn't dig into your body. It fits real comfortable inside the waistband. And then he's got other calibers between 9 millimeter and 40 caliber, and all other calibers that you may want or need. Okay, these are really nice, especially for those officers, all right, or civilians, anyone that like to carry inside the waistband, outside the waistband. Some really cool stuff, durable. Okay, that good Kydex, that hard plastic. Got the magazine pouch with the holster included, which I know I like to carry, and a lot of other guys like to carry if they're working in plain clothes capacity. So some really nice stuff. Tactipolo, my man Will and Clint, tactipolo.com. Go check them out. They have some phenomenal apparel. Ladies, men's. He's got the trucker caps, real nice polos, very comfortable. You don't sweat in them like most other shirts. They have some really nice colors. So go check out my man Will and Clint at tactipolo.com. I have one more sponsor that I need to mention, and today they truly blessed me with some equipment that is much needed, so we can have more than two people on the podcast. So I want to say thank you to the Bushel Stop. All right, check them out on IG. Check them out on the website, the Bushel Stop. All your landscaping needs. They have. I mean, I've been shopping there for years. When I had my own house, I loved it. There's a variety, pretty much every plant or tree that you could need in your backyard. They have. They have all kind of different types of pottery, gravel, mulch, pretty much everything you need for your residence or commercial buildings. Okay, to make it look aesthetically nice. So again, Bushel Stop. I love them to death. One of them is my best friend. I know him for many years, but the family in general, it's a great family. It's a family owned business. So go check out the Bushel Stop. Last but not least, I want to say thank you again to everybody that supported my channel. We just came out with these shirts. I'm going to show them to you here in a second. And the shirts, really, whatever we make off these shirts are going right back into the podcast itself. We're using whatever funds are available to pay for studio time, pay for editing. You know, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see or know about. And we're trying to use this as a platform to make those ends meet so we can continue providing you guys with one episode per week with different people's stories. So check out these shirts, guys. I love them. They were made by one of my friends, Andy from Easy Tees T-shirts. Check these out. Got long sleeve and short sleeve. You got the logo on the front, and then you got a nice logo on the back. I love them. They're so comfortable. I'm sure people around my neighborhood probably think I only have one shirt just because I love them so much. Short sleeve, long sleeve. Send me a text 561-308-9653. Send me a text via Instagram or Facebook. Lou Maroto, What's Next, or Palm Beach Personal Protection. I'm sorry, PBP Protection. Okay, that's my IG. And you can send me a text via that or contact me, and I will get you one of these shirts. I'll let you know the prices. 15 for the long sleeve, and 15 for the long sleeves and 17 for the short sleeves. Okay, 50 for the short sleeve and 17 for the long sleeve. Um, Dry fits, very comfortable. So go check them out. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome again to another episode of What's Next.
What's next?
Yes, I'm so excited. Again, we have another special guest in the house. Um, Before I continue, I'm your host, Lou Maroto. I'll introduce my guest here in a second. But I'm so blessed and I'm honored that you're here because this is the whole purpose of the show is I'm using radio, social media as a platform
Yes.
for people to tell their stories. And hopefully, maybe if one of those stories reaches at least one person, then we're doing something good.
Amen to that.
You know, and you know it's crazy because I am going outside of the law enforcement military bubble where we only speak about law enforcement and military stuff.
Right.
You know, so I want to reach everyone and anyone outside of law enforcement too,
That's right.
because I have so many people that I know that actually have very impactful stories. So
That's wonderful.
without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to introduce my friend Joann Reed.
Hey, everybody. Yeah.
The sound effects are coming. Sound effects are coming.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm
Yes.
honored to be here.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being here.
Absolutely.
Again, Joann was introduced to me by a mutual friend of ours. We're both in law enforcement.
Yes.
How many years have you been on the job?
17 years now.
17.
Yeah.
How many left before the big
Mm,
R? One day at a time?
Yeah, 7 to 9 maybe, depending if I make lieutenant.
Okay.
Hang around. If not, which I know I will, but positive thinking. But 7 to 9-ish.
God,
Yeah.
it's good to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, huh?
Yes. But every day's wonderful, I'm blessed to
Absolutely.
be here and have this job and career, calling, right, as it is.
It is.
So,
You know, like I tell people that sometimes we don't look at ourselves a little bit and say how blessed we are to just be healthy, be
That's right.
alive,
employed,
insurance.
insurance,
You know,
with everything going on in the world
yes, COVID really had a very, for lack of a better word, such a huge impact on businesses, on people,
on families,
families. Yes.
jobs,
So-
for sure.
So let's start real quick here. Tell
Yeah.
me where you're from. Where you from,
So,
Joann?
Originally from Brentwood, Long Island. Shout out.
New
Long
York.
Island in the house. Grew up there. My dad was NYPD, 20 years. He was
He was on the job.
on the job, till about, I think, 1986, 87, he retired. And then we moved here to Jupiter,
Oof.
Florida in 88.
I love it
thought-
down here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we moved. My dad retired, went for sergeant. Then they had this whole thing with affirmative action and then some points and got taken away. I don't remember the story, but then he was
Yeah.
like, came home. He's like, I'm done.
Man,
We're out of here. And they took a trip, my mom and dad, down to Florida, and I think got lost in Jupiter or something. They went to go to Tampa. They wound up in they came back, we're moving to Jupiter. We're like, what? Where?
You're like, where's Jupiter?
Man, we moved there. I thought we won the lotto. I thought my dad wasn't telling me something. I'm like, wow.
Joann, I'll tell you a quick funny story. It's just short. My dad wanted to move down to Florida so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 70s, they got hooked up with some scam where they sold them a piece of Florida swampland. All right, and it's in Ocala. But anyways, he wanted to come down here so bad that I remember going to Orlando. My brother and I were little kids, and they show us a model home, and we didn't know any better. What the heck was a model home?
Yeah.
So I remember my brother and I were fighting to see, this is going to be my room, this is going to be your room.
Oh, man, yeah.
It never panned out. We ended up staying in New York.
Till you can move yourself, right?
Till I could actually move myself. But
yeah, so I mean, my dad, we moved here. I think he retired out of Midtown North. He was, and and obviously retired, moved down to Jupiter, and from there he wound up, being the commander of the American Legion in Sequester for a lot of years. And I there I lived until and I didn't become an officer until I was 30 years old. So I was single mom. I was working, and I wound up actually working in radio.
Really?
I was waiting tables, and then got a job as production with a 94.3. It was 92.7 at the time. The Love Doctors. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
So,
that.
but I wound up doing like commercials, part-time work, and then had my own little radio show.
Wow.
And 101.3 The Coast, and it was great. It was the best times of my life. Like that was the best.
And look at you now. You're back with
Hey,
earphones and a microphone.
I feel like I'm home, right? And but it wasn't paying the bills, and there was no insurance, and $8 an hour wasn't cutting it. And my dad, what are you gonna do with your life? This radio wasn't paying, panning out. Like my dad was real. He'll tell you,
that's
he'll give you an atta girl and then be like, but you sucked on this, so you need to do better, right?
Good.
So I said, I need to do something. I have a daughter, she's 6, 7 years old, and I don't like go to the fire academy. No.
Now, hey, knowing what you know now, would you go to the fire academy?
Still no.
You still really? Because you're following in your dad's footsteps.
I can't. It was just not a calling for me. Then the medical and the blood and I remember someone telling me, so you'd rather take a chance getting shot than be a fire. I'm like, yep. Going into fires, they're heroes. They're really heroes too.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. I can't.
Especially up north, they're going up,
buildings
12
and
floors and carrying all that equipment.
Yeah,
So-
and at the time I was like no. And then going to be a paralegal, I thought of that, but that was like 2 years. I needed something, and they're like, hey, what? You ever thought about following your dad's footsteps? I mean, it's only 5 months, 6 months, the academy. I was like, yeah, I think I could do this. Wait a minute, and told my dad. He was like, yeah, right. I have 2 brothers. He's like, you're the one who's going to be the cop. He's
he
like,
never thought that you would follow in the steps.
No.
Really?
No. I was, back in the day, I mean, I was, troublemaker. I was just, raising
the
Cain.
mischievous
Oh,
Joann.
yeah. The wild one, the only daughter. So he didn't think, my brother went in the Army for 20 years. My other brother was doing his thing. And I did it. I said, I'm going to try it. And I didn't look back. It was 2003. And I went into the academy at 30. I was the oldest one, I think, in there.
That's all right.
And I was, everybody was like, you're doing what? You're a cop?
All your friends and family?
Oh, they were like, yeah, it's just another phase, right?
Yeah.
And then I graduated, and then there was a mega freeze. Like at the time, there was not. I went to Indian River Academy. There was in Fort Pierce. It was a big hiring freeze, and but I went to a memorial for a friend of mine who passed from. He was Belglade Police Department.
Okay.
Way out in the muck.
I know.
Representing the 33430, right?
Yep.
And west of 20 Mile Bend, I had never been there in my life. I'd never seen sugar cane. I had no clue.
Mosquitoes.
Oh, mosquitoes got their, come on.
They carry you away.
Oh, they're taking you out of there. You know what I mean? They're looking at you. I mean, they're huge. So they said, hey, we're hiring. And, anyone knows the Glades, those communities, lower income, but a lot of heart, a lot of great people. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. Drove my wood panel station wagon out there.
My
and
dad
I
had
was
one of
like,
those.
what am I doing? Got the application. I think I was hired in like a week. It was like, I thought, where am I? What am I doing? But I took the job because, I needed to get hired.
Little culture shock from New York to the Glades.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Chief Miller, former chief, the cigar. He looked like Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard, Come on in.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, am I being bunked, to work here? And, but I filled out the application. I had the interview, and it was the best decision I ever did. Taught me how to be a cop, taught me how to talk to people, taught me about community. The best thing I ever did, so never looked back, and
wow. So all right, so you end up with one small agency, and then you ultimately make a move to a bigger agency.
Bigger agency, working in a local agency now. Been there for 15 years. Got promoted to sergeant. Yeah. So,
baller.
Huh? Yeah, baller. And it was just the best experience. Now of course I'll be, take lieutenant next year and keep moving from there. But it's been the best thing of my life to do this job. It's a lot of people say, I don't know how you can do this job and it not be a calling or not be, like you were called to do this. I'm just doing it for the money.
Yeah.
No, nobody's just doing this job for the money,
Yeah, you're right. You
so
got to really want to be there because,
absolutely.
like the military, you're not. We make good money, but
Sure.
you're not in some Fortune 500 company. And you're
Absolutely.
doing stuff that other people would never want to do.
Correct.
And you're
It's-
seeing things.
That's right. And you're seeing things and you're going through things and experiencing things that, you know how it is. You've been there.
Yeah.
You go into one call, you just delivered a baby, and the next call somebody's dying, and then there's a fight, and then there's it's just, and which through my career, which leads me to kind of the next thing.
Yeah.
You become a mom or you get married, you get divorced, you got the, things happen in life,
absolutely.
right? Then the stress of the job and no, I got that. I'm handled. I'm good. And obviously I love to talk. So, I talk my feelings out. A lot of people don't, they hold it inside, but it's still, the weight kept packing on, right?
Mm-hmm.
The weight kept growing and got divorced. It kept growing. Next thing you know, I'm 301 pounds, which I'm tall. So people are like, no, you weren't. Yes, I was. You want to see the scale?
Yeah.
And years later, you look back, and there you are in the position I was in. 300 pounds.
I want to add something real quick to what you just
Absolutely.
said. Is we're human, just like anyone else on the street. We're human.
Mhm.
We just chose a different path
Correct.
in our journey in life.
Yeah.
Right. So some of us became police officers. And then other people, whatever, maybe firefighters, nurses first,
Sure.
whatever.
Sure.
But we're human, and that we're not
robots.
We're vulnerable.
Yeah.
We things can happen to us the same way it can happen to you behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So keep
yeah.
telling
No.
me you.
So you get married, whatever. I had twins. I had 2 boys, and I had my daughter already, and I was married. Met my ex on the job,
Mhm.
and we were married for a long while, and it didn't work out. Stuff happens, life happens, and we're good friends to this day, and that's great. But eating is the tool, right? Even listen, my mom's Puerto Rican, and my dad
Boricua.
Morena. And my dad's Irish, so you know how that goes. They were fighting, eating, drinking, or making babies. I don't know, right? So that was their life for 40-something years. So you're happy, you eat. You're sad, you eat. You're depressed, you eat. You're good. Food was there all the time. So through all the trials, tribulations, it's food. That's the way to cope, right? And after the divorce, that's when I started really. And then you're 35, you have twins, and your hormone, and all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
And then I looked, and I went from a size, 14 to a size 50 in men's pants. 50, like bigger than my ex,
Wow.
And then at that point you're depressed. So now you're really down in the dumps, and you're trying to go to work, and you're wearing your uniform, but people are judging you harsh.
Sure.
And so all that started happening while still trying to just be the best officer I could be, do the best job I can do.
What year approximately are we talking about right now?
So I started in 03, and I would say about 2000, the boys were born in 07, 2009, 2008, 9, just the weight didn't come off.
Mhm.
Then compound that with more weight, gaining weight, getting divorced. It never went down, right? And people, other health issues. Oh, well, I'm overweight because I have this. I'm overweight because of autoimmune issues. I'm overweight because
So we're blaming it on other things.
on everything else. Excuses. I'll diet. I never met a donut I didn't like. All right? Let's talk real. Listen, I love food and I hate exercise, but I became very addicted to sugar and food and all that stuff as a coping mechanism. So I took the sergeant's test almost 2 years ago now, and to celebrate, I went away. I got promoted, and I started realizing I've got to now mold. I have this is my squad. These young officers, like, work out, be fit, be ready.
A role model.
I'm a role model,
leader.
but I'm not following and practicing what I preach. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I went away with my son to Disney, to Orlando, and got onto this go-kart, and I couldn't buckle up. I couldn't fit in the go-kart, right? So happy Joann, always joking, always laughing.
Yeah.
I was dying inside, right? And my son is making the excuses for me. No, mom, they just make them small. Like, he's trying to
He's trying
make
to
me
take
not
care
feel
of
bad.
mom. Yeah.
So I said, you go,
That's
son.
awesome, huh?
Absolutely, two
Yeah.
mama's boys.
Yeah.
So, you go, mom, you go. And I'm sitting there crying while he's driving the go-kart. I'm like, go again. It's all right, and that hit me. That was a Saturday. So I come back Monday. There was a promotional ceremony for a friend of mine. Now, I'm already a sergeant, right?
Okay.
I go back, go to this promotional ceremony, and there's a person there who says to me, whether meant it or not, I don't know, congratulating my two friends, two females who, beautiful friends of mine. Shout out.
Shout them out.
Juliana and Griselle, shout out. My girls, they're sergeants.
Good.
And a certain person had looked at them, congratulations, and you make this uniform proud. You look great, whatever. And then kind of glanced over at me, or I took it that way.
Sure.
And it was like, I wish other people would follow suit.
Whoa.
And I felt like I could have died, and of course, happy Joann. No, it's fine.
Playing, whatever.
I got into my car. I was crying.
Bawling.
I was bawling. It was, wow. What a wake-up call. I called my friend who had just had the gastric sleeve weight loss surgery, which is what I had. They take out 80% of your stomach, and you have like this little bit of stomach left, and so you can't eat any more than that. And I knew he had it done. He looked phenomenal. And I had another friend who had it done. So I called them both. Ironically, they both went to the same doctor. And I said, I'm doing it. That is it. I'm getting it done. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of being overweight. I don't want to deal with it no more. I need something drastic. Anyone that knows me knows I ain't just going to say, oh, let me eat healthy and exercise. Let me start eating kale and give up them donuts and, start doing. No, it ain't happening, right? So I needed something that was going to say, oh, okay, you want to lose the weight? We're going drastic, right? So, and then I had it done literally in under a month from that time. I said, I'm doing it.
Let me say something real quick here. And this job gives us tough skin. You got to have tough skin in this job, right? But on the same note, some people, or people in general, sometimes need to watch what they say.
True.
Whether they mean it or they're trying to be, there's some humor behind it or anything like that. But we do have feelings.
Correct.
Okay?
And especially with everything going on, the suicide rate. Not that I was ever at that point.
Right, but absolutely, I know where you're going.
You never know where one person is on the edge and what you say. And I tell my guys this, just dealing with the public. You're going to go out and handle that same 38, domestic. So that same call. Sorry to everybody who doesn't know.
What's a 38?
Yeah, well, what is she talking about? The same domestic call, the same fight call, the same drama. But it's that one time where you may impact that person and you don't realize that you just talked him off that ledge. I'll get back to the weight loss surgery in a minute.
Yeah, but
it's
important. It's very important.
We, especially the young people coming up that want to get into law enforcement, have to realize you're not just, I am an officer, I'm going to arrest you, I'm going to write you tickets, even though the public may think that. You're a counselor, a teacher, a nurse, a doctor at times, a disciplinarian. You're all these things. You're switching your hat all shift long.
Yep.
And you have to have humanity and compassion. And it doesn't matter what weapon you have on your belt. If you don't have your mouth to communicate and talk, corrections.
100%.
Corrections, shout out to corrections. I could never do that job either. They have no weapons except that and how they talk to people and how they treat people. And that'll get you in and out of the most trouble in your whole career, right?
Absolutely.
So, I deal with that and I talk to people every day. So I knew about that. But as much as I hated that person said that to me, or it hit me because I'm looking around at everybody looking sharp, looking great, and there was more than looks, but my health was suffering, right?
Yeah.
So I needed that wake-up call of something drastic to where I never looked back. And that's what I chose, to go that route.
Wow.
My dad always said, and my brother said, I was like, I'm going to wire my jaw shut. That's next. And they're like, you're going to find a way to suck a cheeseburger through a straw. So let's get real here. That's not going to happen with you, right? So I was like, I got to do something. And when I did my research on the gastric sleeve, and I went for it. Best
Wow.
decision of my life.
All right. So
So,
you get this procedure done.
yep.
Take me through your journey.
So,
From recovery to where we are
so
now.
I went up to my lieutenant and I said, I need a month off. And he was like,
That's
Reed,
just
what?
so-
You're always going on vacation. What? How? Why don't I just give you? And I was like, let me tell you, LT, I'm gonna have this surgery. And my bosses and command staff are amazing. My agency. They were like, he's like, okay, whatever you need. You have time. You don't have time. We'll make it work. Go ahead. So I signed up. I did the pre-op. You know, you go, you talk to the doctor, Dr. Shillingford Boca Raton. Amazing, amazing. If anyone sees this and is thinking of lap band, gastric bypass, gastric sleeve, Dr. Shillingford Boca Raton, you don't have to go to Mexico. You don't have to go.
Yeah, and please don't go.
Yeah,
if
be
you go,
careful. Do your
you
research
get
on
what
this.
you pay for.
Correct. My surgery was only 11 grand. It was a gastric sleeve, but I was able to finance it. My insurance sadly didn't cover it through the agency, which I'm working on that. I'm hoping I could change that. But
Yeah.
I pay you $250 a month for the surgery, which I was spending double, triple that in alcohol and junk food and everything else, eating out. So anyway, so I went for the evaluation. He talked to me, did blood work, whatever. He felt that the gastric sleeve, where they, like I said, they take out 80% of your stomach, was for me, and set me up on a 2-week pre-op diet. You then have to, you're on liquids, protein shakes,
Yummy.
right? No sugar, no carb. Like it's
God.
2 weeks because they need to shrink your liver. Your liver is a bleeding organ, and they want to make sure that it's shrunk. It's no chance of like nicking it and it bleeding, and they want nothing in your stomach. So it was a hard 2 weeks.
Oh, I can't imagine.
But I did it. Like I was thinking, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna eat a burger. I'm gonna eat a,
Did you?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
You stayed.
I knew
committed.
if I cheated one time, right back to the drawing board. So I wasn't very pleasant, but I did it. I lost 16 pounds just from doing that alone. And then surgery day came, and my daughter flew down from New York, and she was with me, and I had it done. You're in there a couple of days while fluids, and they monitor you, and then you're home. And the first couple of weeks are rough, but I
is
get
it rough of pain or just because you're still mentally?
Mentally, emotionally, physically. The pain is not like you feel like you're kicked in the stomach, but the emotional and mental just healing. But then also, wow, I had this done. To go from I'm always hungry all the time to it could be a cake in front of you. When you have the gastric sleeve, it cuts out the part of your stomach with the hormone ghrelin, which gives you the cravings and makes you hungry. So it's gone. So it's like looking at, something that you loved every day, and you're just like, oh, no
wow,
craving.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes. So it's also a mind game because you're like, wow, am I hungry? Am I not? How does it's just getting used to that new life, right? That you have. And you're very regimented. You have to have your protein shake at this time. You have to stay hydrated. You'll forget that you even need to drink water because you're just not hungry anymore. So that was a wow for me, Some people it's very hard. They may fall into a little depression. That's why they encourage you to talk to somebody, make sure you're going to some counseling,
therapy, like
have a good support system. Me, it did the opposite. I was so happy. I was so happy to not be hungry because,
really?
I'm hungry all the time. I was
Yeah.
stay having a love affair with food. So I was actually happy about that. And the weight just started peeling off. I mean, I went down from 301, then I was 283, then I was, and it just, that motivation.
You felt great, felt better.
The knee pain that I was borderline ready to have a knee surgery. That was gone. Joint pain, gone. I had a lot of redness, which I still kind of do in the arms, but gone, started clearing up. But also because, I went from all the sugar, carbs, donuts, pizzas to water, vegetables, which...
You just made me hungry.
Okay.
Let me have some more water.
Let's have some more water, everybody, But let me tell you, it's not that you can never have that stuff again. It's just going to be in very, very small amounts,
portions,
right? And people say, well, then just eat vegetables and drink water if you could then. Why did you have to have the surgery? Once again, some people just need to.
Everyone's body's
and
different.
It's a tool. It was a tool that was going to force me. And then if you do eat that junk, you're going to be very sick. So that happened to me once, and it'll never happen again. So that whole experience happened, had the surgery. and then you heal. I spent the month just, because you don't want to wear the vest and the belt and you've got little incisions and stuff. So took the month off and I went back. I was like 3 sizes down. Like my squad just couldn't believe what they were seeing,
I saw a photo where you were wearing one of your old
uniforms.
the pants and
Yep.
trousers, and then wow, I was
Just dropped.
yep.
I was a size 50 in men's, and when I went back to work, I was a 24, and in a month time in women's, which is almost the highest you could go. So still big, but people
Big difference.
could tell, right?
Sure.
Now I think I've had to go down. I'm currently in a 14 in women's. I mean, that's
Good for you.
miraculous.
Yeah.
And 6 sizes down. Yeah, medium in shirt. I mean, who would have thought?
So
I
you
wouldn't have
love
thought.
going shopping now.
Yeah. I just and in the interim of all this stuff happening, I started documenting my journey on TikTok, social media. Started on Facebook, and then somebody, buddy of mine was like, hey, you ever hear of this TikTok? And I'm like, oh, my kids started watching it. And so I saw it and I was like, oh, let me just put this video on here. There was a video of me, very heavy, but I was working, and my squad called me, new sergeant, my squad called me to this gator call.
Okay.
Gator was, a guy ran over a gator on the road. It was like 12 feet. It was thousands of pounds. It was huge. And they told me, oh, he's gone, he's dead. So I'm on the phone with the LT, telling him, listen, we're going to have to get this out of the road. And the thing moves.
You was playing possum?
I'm gone. I went running for dear. Bye. They're like, Sarge. I'm like, see you later. I am out of here. And I kept going. So we put that music to, there's like, hell to the no.
Yeah.
And I kept going.
Yeah, I know you're doing.
And then it blew up to like 5 million views.
Wow.
Right. And that started, I was like, oh, let me put that on TikTok. Blew up. And that started my TikTok journey.
Crazy.
So fast forward now, I have like almost 60,000 followers on TikTok. And I said, let me put my weight loss journey on there.
Wow.
So now it's just been such a blessing in so many ways to reach all these people and,
So people are reaching out to you now and asking for advice. You know, what do you recommend?
I've had 7 people at my agency alone, including now my ex-husband coming up. I know you want me to say, but he ain't. Getting this surgery done. Really? And people I care about, makes it even more special. So they are getting the surgery done now too. And it's great to make that impact on somebody for their health and just know how happy they're going to be, because I am. Oh, it's wonderful.
Health is very important, but I think what you're doing is probably helping a lot of people mentally.
Right.
Because, like you said, it leads to depression, and who knows what
so
can
many
happen
things.
after that.
So many things. And showing that if I could do it, anyone can do it. Right? Afraid of surgery, afraid of anesthesia, afraid of not ever being able to, you grow a relationship with food or alcohol or, love to kick some back and not be able to like.
Tito Sutherland.
Tito.
Tito Sutherland.
Shout out to Tito.
Tito.
Shout out to Grandma.
Hey.
Right? But no more. And I mean, once again, I'm Puerto Rican and Irish, so we drinking, we're going, and you miss that. You felt like, okay, what if I'm not able to go out? It's a social thing. Let's go out and eat. Let's go have some drinks. Now I'm not doing that anymore. Are they going to still want to be my friend? It messes with you. But I knew me, and I didn't allow it to mess with me. People were so supportive, and I could go out. I'll watch you eat. I just want to be with you. And finding other ways to be present and not having it have to be continually eating or drinking. You know what I mean? So, so putting that out on TikTok, documenting my journey, and then tactipolo.com.
Yeah, Tactipolo.
Get all your shirts and that's at tactipolo.com.
Yeah, they have some phenomenal stuff. I love Will.
Love it. I never thought a collared shirt would make me look so good. I'm loving their shirts. And they said, hey, what we'd like to sponsor you, and let everybody know about it and give them a little discount so they came on board. And then these jeans, this other company, Pineapple BDS, the woman said,
you're doing big things. That's good.
Right. You're nominated to win a wardrobe. And then that happened. And then the biggest one was Bariatric Fusion is a vitamins company for weight loss patients.
Okay.
Biggest one in the country. I use them. Over hundreds of dollars a month, vitamins, supplements, calcium, all that. I emailed them saying, hey, I take this. I have, little following. Boom, they emailed me back. We'll sponsor you. All the vitamins, everything. Here's a code for people. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I felt like I won the lotto because I was like,
That's what's
I'm
up.
honored, you know?
Yeah.
So now more and more people started following me because of that. So it just, what a life-changing blessing it's really been.
It is.
In all
There you go.
avenues, you
Now,
know?
Joann, let me ask you the question. For those people that would like to see more of your story and follow all those
Sure.
videos, what's your TikTok name or
My TikTok name is Joe50. Corny, I know.
Joe Joe50.
Shout out JOFIVEO, Joe50. I'm on TikTok and Instagram, Joann Rore, so JOANNRORE. You'll find me, and there's a link on my TikTok to my Instagram.
We'll put a little
Yeah,
link
sure.
underneath our
Sure.
for this episode and with
Yeah,
your name and
awesome.
all your
And
good
feel
stuff.
free to follow me if you know anyone. And it doesn't just have to be weight loss surgery. You know, I talk a lot about protein drinks and, you know, what if you're on keto or low carb, you know, what foods I eat and stuff. It can help you out even in that aspect too. And then I just do a lot of fun stuff as well, you know,
That's
dancing
you're
and having
having fun.
fun. Yeah.
And like all the videos that I've seen of you, that's why before we started recording, I said, you know, your personality, you have a wonderful personality.
Thank you. Yeah.
And that's what attracts a lot of people to want to see and
Right.
watch your videos.
Right. Yeah. It's been such a transformation that, you know, I can't just thank everybody enough who took me, who shared the journey with me and pushed me along. You know, even the haters, right?
Yeah,
The haters
there's always haters.
are your
Yeah, yeah,
motivators.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what's been going on with me with that and keeping it going. Now I'm at 179 pounds. Like, hey, I got on a scale the other day.
Wow.
I was like, I had to jump back on. And I'm like,
Let
my
me
glasses
reset and
on.
make sure.
This is wrong. This cannot be, you know? So
Wow, 179.
179. I don't know how much more down I'll go. I don't want to get too skinny, you know. I want to start, but now the weight training, the exercise happens. Ugh.
Pick it up and put it down.
I'm gonna have to. The one thing it doesn't do, weight loss surgery, is make you like exercise. Because I'm just talking about it with my guys last night. They're like, "Come on, Sarge, you know, let's go hit the gym," because I have a gym there, my agency. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll be right not there. I'll be over here," you know. And they're like, "Come on, Sarge." And they're all guys. I'm the only girl.
Yeah.
So like, "Come on, Sarge, get them gains," you know. And I'm like, I don't want to.
I was messing around with one of the guys at work. Right now, my back is killing me, but they all went to the gym, and I followed them. And they're like, "You're not gonna work out?" I said, "No, I'm just coming in here just to make sure all the equipment's still in the right spot. Nobody's moved it."
It's still the same as the last time I saw it.
You know, it hurts a little bit more as you get older, but again, we find excuses not to do it.
We do.
And sometimes we just need a little pushing.
I was thinking of that on the way over here. There's people in my life that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, no matter what you do, they support you.
Mm-hmm.
There are those friends that are, you know, sure, I'm going to go wreck this car. Okay, I got your back, ride or die. And you need those friends too in life, right?
Yep.
But you also need the friends and the people that are going to keep it real, keep it 100 with you, and be like, no, and call you on your. Are we allowed to curse on here? Okay, they're going to call you on your shit, right?
Yep.
So, you know, I had a couple of friends in my life do that to me and for me, and it was a wake-up call. And just driving over here, I started thinking of excuses and how many excuses I made for myself. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do it. And everyone says, oh, it's the easy way out. You took the easy way out. Exercise is not easy. Dieting is not easy, or I would have been skinny already.
Yeah.
But weight loss surgery is not easy either. It's a tool, and you can grow your stomach back out, not to ever what it was, but you could still gain weight back. Maybe not all, but some, if you don't use that tool properly. So I got to get back in and hit up that gym and cut the excuses of, oh, now I'm tired, oh, I'm busy, because you still fall back in that trap. And hopefully I will start to like the exercise part, but that's another part of the journey. So
you know, that first couple of weeks is the hardest when you're trying to get back into the gym.
Yep.
Because that's when you get the acid buildup in your muscles.
Lactic acid
or
whatever.
And it starts to hurt, and you're like,
right.
You know, you wake up all sore, but once you get in the flow of things, it starts to get a little easier. Mm-hmm. And again, it's been a minute since I've been in the gym. I need to get back in there. But I always find an excuse. It's raining outside. The gym's inside.
The gym is inside.
Inside.
And you can do things in your house. And I have my boys, you know, they're 14, and they're now, my one's wanting to get into basketball. The other one is, you know, maybe I'll do a 5K with you. And I just did my first one on the day of my birthday, March 28th. Okay. And I made a video about it. And it was so I'm
Empowering.
inspiring, empowering,
Yeah.
and even though I didn't have to run the whole time, thank God. Whew, tell
But he
everybody.
did it.
But I did
You
it,
signed up.
and
You
I did
showed
it,
up.
and I did it. So and I can't wait for the next one, and I'm gonna take my boys with me because my boys are like, I'm like, now we're gonna go climb a mountain. Now let's go. They're like, hey, mom.
Slow down.
Gee, slow down, relax, right?
Throw the reins back a
Whoa,
little bit.
mom. I'm like, we're going on a trip. We're gonna go hike in North Carolina. They're like, are you all right? It's been awesome watching them watch me go through this.
How old are your boys?
14. They're twins.
And your daughter is
26.
26.
Right. So, it's amazing because now they're boys, and
energy.
The one is all his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious, very, the other one is all me. But they're mama's boys, so it's like he, especially my son Darren, where you going dressed like that? I think I did a video on that. Where you going dressed like that? I'm in jeans and a shirt. You're putting on makeup. I'm like, this is an interrogation?
He's your little bodyguard.
Oh, he does not. He made a TikTok account to go on and roast any guys that compliment me on my TikTok account. Listen, Buckaroo, you're hitting on my mom. You better. The guy's like, what? I just said she was pretty. So I don't know if there's any chance for me with dating coming up because he's just on it, But that feels good too,
Absolutely.
It feels good to, be, oh, you look great, So
yeah, it's funny because you say you have two boys. I have two also, and they're both. I don't care what they say. They're looking at me. They're both mama's boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
And I don't mind that at all.
It's I want them to be close. Be able to tell mom anything they want. That
correct.
Maybe they don't want to tell dad.
Right.
Maybe they feel a little bit more comfortable with mom, and that's okay with me as long as, like you said before, you're not keeping it inside.
Right. You always want to talk about it. Do you have a daughter?
No, I don't.
All right,
I have a little sister.
Yeah, that would have been, then the daughter goes to dad and, the daddy's girl and all that. So
no, two. God bless me with two boys, and then I shut it down.
You
I
said,
shut the
"I'm
factory down.
I'm all done, right?
So now they're of age. My oldest is gonna be 27, and
yeah,
my youngest is 20. Oh God, 5 years younger. So
time
20, he's
just
gonna be
blows by.
just turned 22.
Yeah.
So and now we're just living life. We're having fun.
Yeah, and I tell them because they're 14 going into ninth grade. What do you want to do? And sometimes the ones like I don't know what I want to do. And I'll tell you. So the other day I found these cassette tapes. Shout out to the 80s.
People don't know the cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes of me on my radio show and things. Doing commercials and edits. And I went and bought off Amazon a cassette tape player because I didn't have any more, right? And it just kind of took me back. Put it in and press play and to hear myself back, late 90s. And my boys are like, whoa. And my one son's like, I want to be on radio now. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's just like, you can, you could do that. You don't. And now I, more so leaning towards, I think he wants to be an officer too. And I'm kind of like, are you sure? But the radio too was the best times of my life. I had such a great time back in the day meeting Aerosmith and all these people would come tell. Oh, that was great.
That's got to be pretty cool.
It was wonderful being able to talk because I love that. Yeah. But meet people and go out and people meet you and they're like, "Well, you're on the radio," and so that it was fun. But it didn't pay the bills.
I don't know how you felt about it, but like when I listen to say an episode, like I don't like hearing my own voice, and a lot of people say that. I don't know how you felt about that.
I was a little cringy when I heard the tapes because but to me I sounded so young, but people might think, oh, Joann loved to hear herself talk. Hey, I'm in the shower and I'm talking to myself. I'm like, oh, I got to do that. And I'm like, are you all right in there? Who's in there? Oh, no, I'm just talking to myself. But like my dad said, as long as you don't answer yourself, right? But then you're all right.
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing all right.
I'm doing all right. But so you do sound a little bit, but you sound great. I mean, I love watching those episodes. So you sound fine. We always hate our own voice.
Get a deep voice.
Get that radio.
La Nueva 98 Nueva York.
That's awesome. So, the Z100 days, right?
Oh, Z1, yes.
Yeah.
I remember back home listening to 97. What is it? The hip hop station. It might have changed.
Could be
97 something. Oh, whatever it was. 97 something. And I would sit there with my cassette tapes, because it was the Rap Attack.
Yeah, Rap
something
Attack with Marley
next.
Marl, and you got to get it right as
Yeah,
it
but-
starts.
Yes.
You got to hit that record and you're going to get part of the commercial in there. That's all
Yeah.
right?
And I would sit there and just
Yeah.
listen to it and just hit record and
Kids
Go-
don't know those days of,
Nope.
of
now
now you just
rewind and then you try to do a little mix yourself.
order. And then that's
So-
how, when your voicemail, then when you start getting a phone, you're playing the music in the background. Please
Yes.
leave a message, right?
With a little beat.
Yeah.
So tell me, as far as so once you had the surgery and now you on this journey of recovery and getting back in the swing of things, what was the support like from within your family, from within your agency guys and gals,
Right.
know?
So going back to work was an amazing feeling because everybody was so, once again, there are haters in every walk of life, right?
Sure.
There was the people there in life, but even at work, that were really supportive from the day one. Were so happy for me. There were the ones that felt like you didn't need it anyway, positive. There were a little bit of haters, but for the most part, it was all positive and so supportive. And, you get the people, though, guys, too.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, crashing in your DMs, how great you look. Oh, hey. And the ones that they didn't want to blink an eye at you before. And now all of a sudden they want to talk to you and they got something to say, which, you could
Is it a hidden
compartmentalize.
agenda or what?
Yeah. I mean, like all of a sudden, I was here before. I was just heavier, but I'm here
Right.
now. But now, like, and I just want people to know, like, your worth is not determined by how you look. Yeah, it was heavy, but I always did my job the best I could do my job. All right. I saved a baby's life at the weight I was at, 301 pounds in the middle of the intersection of Royal Palm. I saved this baby. I drug a person from a car. So even at 300 pounds,
You still did your job.
I still did my job. Doesn't mean because you're heavy, you can't do your job.
Right.
But I did it for me health-wise and wanting to feel good and fit into clothes. How many times you're going to go to a store and you can only go to 2 stores, Lane Bryant or because you can't fit into the regular clothes anymore. And you're just like you're wearing a tablecloth. You just don't feel good. I did it for those reasons for myself.
Mhm.
But don't ever feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough the way you are. But there's a chance you could be better, so why not take it, right? Why not
Absolutely.
go that route? So came back to work, and there was a lot of just amazing support. And you start to feel better. It's also you you may have not be talking to people, or you may be depressed, so you're not as outgoing and wanting to communicate to people. Now you're glowing. You change. So now you're wanting to talk to people, and people want to be around you, and
Sure.
that happens. And that's why I always encourage, go to a counselor, talk to somebody, make sure you have a support system, because not only is your body going to change, mentally and emotionally is going to change too, and how people treat you is going to change, and you have to know how to balance all that, right? Because it's an experience. So
And you were talking about, like, you were using food. A lot of people use food as an escape, right?
Right.
Maybe for depression.
right,
It's like anything else, any kind of other addiction.
correct.
I was just recently reading the book, and I literally started like yesterday morning, and I got so into the book that I'm like 10 pages from finishing. It's a paperback, but it's a gentleman that I'm going to have him on my podcast in the
Awesome.
future. But what a story! He speaks about his drug addiction, starting at, I believe, as young as like 16, 17 when he was in middle school or early high school.
Wow.
And like, he ends up getting locked up a bunch of times, DUI, suspended driver's license, just an ongoing cycle of addiction.
Yep.
I mean, to a point where GHB was big back in his era.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where there was no more GHB or couldn't afford it, and was now doing super glue.
Oh my goodness.
I guess
Wow.
one of the major components of GHB isn't super glue. So he was swallowing super glue and chasing it down with a fluid to get that high.
Right.
Overdosed a couple times.
Oh my
Luckily, somebody was there to save him. But it's
Addiction
addiction.
in so many forms: food,
Addiction, yep.
drugs, sex, and everything else happens.
Yep.
And if you have an addictive personality as well, they talk about transfer addiction. So you lose the weight, and now there are people, it's documented, that go from, they lose that weight, but now they're become alcoholics. because now they're out there drinking because, you can't drink a whole lot. So I'll just do some shots. I'll do some shot. And then they become, because they didn't work on their mental and emotional. They just got the weight loss surgery. They take off the weight, but they're still broken,
Yes.
That's a bad thing, but they're still kind of a mess inside
Yeah.
and didn't learn how to work through that and thought if I lose the weight, it'll be better. And it wasn't. And now they're drinking. So then it's called transfer addiction or drugging or,
Yes.
sex.
And that's
or
one of the words that's in the book, drugging.
drugging. So
Yes.
I knew go back to that counselor, utilize EAP at work, talk to somebody because I needed to have that. There's many days where I'm like, well, I'm not eating. What am I doing? So and that's why I know I got to start exercising. I need to fill up my time with positive things to do because you don't want to go back down that dark road again. You know what I mean? And I won't.
Yeah.
I always say I didn't spend this money
Yeah.
to get to where
get
I'm
back,
at.
Yeah.
To throw that money away, but
Sure.
it's an investment in yourself, and I don't want to waste that. So people, don't be afraid to go talk to somebody.
Very important what you say right there.
Please.
Like we did an episode a while back on suicide awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best friends killed himself back in 2017, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a good-looking dude,
Yeah.
liked by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He was the go-to guy for anything. You needed tickets to Sunfest.
I know who it is.
You know what I'm talking about, my buddy John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and and never in a million years would I have thought that my man would have done that. And
Yes.
like Robin Williams, dude always has a smile on his face. But he was hurting.
The most happy people, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, right? The most happy people, myself. You're out there spreading joy to so many others because it's cathartic. It makes you
Yes.
feel good, right? You go through things. I went through things as a kid. I went through stuff, but it takes making everybody else happy takes away. I don't have to worry. Then I don't have to focus on me. So what this did for me is it made me have to get real with, I'm a food addict. Yeah, I have other issues. Yeah, I need to talk to somebody. Can't rely on food anymore. And so that was a blessing in itself to have to make me get real with myself and talk to somebody and have that, person say, hey, well, food was not, it was just a symptom, the addiction and the eating. And it was just a symptom of bigger things and bigger problems that I had. That was just to help me. You know what I mean? It was just, I was medicating myself with food. So I understand, but I promote talking, Ashley Heaglin, detective in sheriff's office, she took her life back in September and last year, and nobody would have thought never. Give me a million people.
Yep.
To me, I wouldn't have thought ever her. And the Always More Help Foundation was started from that Ashley Marie Heaglin Foundation, where people at my agency are going to be getting, they formed this foundation, and it's going to be it's going to do amazing things. It's in the early stages.
That's awesome.
And where if you're a first responder and you need help, we're going to get you that help without fear of, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to lose my job. Or, it's fellow law enforcement officers, first responders, counselors that are going to be there for you to help you. I so support it. I'm so behind it. It's a great, and I know she would be so happy for that. She's looking down, just smiling big at that we're doing this to help other people.
Awesome.
So do never be afraid to speak out, talk it out. You'll be surprised how much better you feel.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things that deters people from going to somewhere, because they're afraid that maybe someone's going to find out that they were speaking to somebody about this.
Correct. Think something's wrong with them, or
what? They may think something's wrong with them. Like my agency, we have a wellness officer, right? He's a lieutenant.
Okay.
So pretty much you can go and we have the wellness officer. He's the lieutenant in charge of the program. But underneath him are about 15, 20 officers,
right,
that you can immediately contact.
This is exactly like the foundation. Yeah, they're doing, they're peer counselors, peer support.
Yes.
And you could go to them, meet with them anher for coffee, whatever, talk to them, and then they'll help you get that.
It's all confidential.
All of it.
Nothing's gonna be said, and and I've seen it with other people that have gone through the program. Because after the fact they've spoken about it.
Correct.
And they said, listen, if it wasn't for such and such, such and such, such and such
Yeah.
and such, I don't know where I would be at.
Correct.
I'm glad I reached out to somebody and got the help that I needed.
Yes, absolutely. Amen to that.
And I don't know if you know my buddy Travis.
Yep. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Travis has, he has
amazing
a really good
story.
I was so happy to have him on the show and
Yes.
just let him.
His testimony is, I know, already helped and will keep helping people for years and years to
Yeah.
come. He's an amazing human being. And he has a very heavenly beard. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Okay. Shout out, Travis.
You know, it's funny that before we started the show that day, he's over here in the corner next to Jose, and Jose's our number one guy with the engineering back
Shout
there.
out, Jose.
LGCY Creations, right?
That's
So,
right.
But Travis was back there, and he's putting some lotion or something.
His beard.
He was manicuring his beard. You know, he's like, I just want to make sure the beard looks right.
We were out with a friend of mine at a birthday party, you know, for her, and he came in and I was like, "Do you mind if I take a picture with your beard? I mean, you? Do you mind if we, you know, we're together?" And I'm like,
hey, faces all our head, not
so
not
yeah.
Just right here next to the.
This girl's crazy.
Yeah.
But great guy, great story, and you know, all you could do is share your story, and it was so life-changing for me, this whole process, that I had to. Especially some people, they don't want to talk about the weight loss surgery. They just do it, and that's fine. That's okay. You know, great. As long as it worked for you and you're better from it and healthier, great. Me, I had to tell everybody.
Wow, that's. Hey.
I was so. Wow, it wasn't as hard. Once again, it's a hard process, but it's not as physically hard as I thought. I was so afraid I'm going to be down for months. I'm going to be hurt. No. You could go back to work. I have a friend who went back to work. He's office work, but went back to work after 8 days. So it's the recovery time is minimal, and you can be back to work, and you have to be ready for that change because it's going to come fast, and you're going to be like, wow, you know. So to share my story all day long. I'll talk about it all day long.
That's what's
you know?
up. That's
yeah,
what's up.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. What's next? No pun intended. What's next, right? What's
next?
What's next for Joann? As far as your health, as far as work,
I'm going to be
your future?
I'm going to be taking the promotional exam next year for lieutenant. That would be love to do that. I'm gonna do that. I also want to start, and I'm gonna figure out how I can do this because I get myself into my hand into so many things.
It happens. Every cookie jar.
Every cookie jar. No, I can't eat the cookies.
Without the cookie.
You know, I work in the South Florida Fair, and it's so weird to me to be walking through the fair like, can't have that elephant ear.
The devil.
I can't have that. You know, those little cider donuts.
Oh, no.
You know, just smelling. But it feels good too, though, right?
Yeah.
So, but I want to work on raising funds for those who can't afford the surgery themselves. I did that for a friend of mine, Tammy, who's now over 100 pounds down. She's doing wonderfully, but her insurance didn't cover it. So I got together and did a GoFundMe and raised funds for her to get her this surgery, and it's changed her life. So I'm in the very, very, very early stages of trying to figure out how I can raise funds and help people, even if I give them some, to get this life-changing surgery, because there are some people who suffered because they went places they shouldn't have for it because they didn't have the money.
Right.
And it cost them a couple of people their life, but other people it didn't work, and other issues. So that's what I'm doing. I
want to make sure they go to the right place.
Right place. And it doesn't have to be my doctor, but just a bariatric surgeon that is accredited and that's, good. And so I'm doing that. I'm working on seeing how I could do that. I'm dabbling in a dream of mine on my bucket list, which I know sounds crazy, but I want to try and do stand-up.
Oh.
I'm thinking of doing a little stand-up comedy.
Wow.
So this horse walked in a bar. Right? But my daughter has done that. So I'm like, man, I wonder where she gets that from. But
she get it from her mama.
She get it from her mama. Yeah. But I want to try and do that because I just never would have. I just didn't feel comfortable. I don't know, but that's just a thing of mine. And my YouTube, I just started my YouTube up. I've got like 2 videos on there. Joe 50, my YouTube.
I was gonna say, yeah. What's the YouTube?
Yep. And just starting to make videos of. Once again, I got my phone. I mean, I'm not balling like this right here, but
we're blessed. Thank God for the people that
absolutely. And starting my YouTube to make videos of my journey start to finish, and to just keep motivating people, inspiring people that they could do it too, whether it is surgery or whether you just want to diet and change your life. I hate the word diet. I was fully convinced now that it is a lifestyle change. My sister-in-law would tell me, it's sugar, Joann. It's the sugar. It's the sodas. It's the carbs. It's the white flour. And I'd always say, you're just, organic Trader Joe's girl who's, I really love hummus and kale. Come on. No, you don't.
A pizza with pepperoni.
What are we talking about here? But she was right. Yes, it was a surgery, but it was also those things, sodas, the sugar in it it's a drug, and you become addicted and dependent on it. And hell no to H2O. I hated water. Like drinking, I'd rather punch myself in the face. Like, water. It's so delicious. Like, no, who says this? Yeah. Who lies like that?
I had to go to the flavored water. You can put a little drop of the whatever.
I'd be so disgruntled. Like, I'm tricking myself into thinking it's an ice cold soda. Come on, what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, I always said, when the day comes, I meet my maker and I get up there to God, I'm going to be like,
that water,
every good thing, everything that tasted great is bad for you. Yes. But you made Brussels sprouts good for you? What are you doing to us? The jokes you got, that was, I went through a lot on earth, Yeah. But, so I just got a lot of things going with that, with my YouTube, and maybe do stand up. We'll see once COVID, calms down. I'm going to try and work on my material.
That's
yeah,
and that's a big step, because you're putting yourself. You gotta. I don't know. Do you just is it sink or swim on stage?
You could get out there and completely bomb, but then it's you suck.
Well, you give them one good joke,
and then they start vibing with you and feeding off the audience. And my daughter went on. There was one other one she did that. People aren't really laughing, but I was proud of her. She pushed through it. And, I'm out there like, you're going to laugh. I'm out there like, y'all better start laughing right now. It's my daughter up there. That's my baby. And I'm clapping. She's like, so I went into a bar. Mom, wasn't that funny?
That wasn't even the punchline.
So, yeah, but you got to just throw yourself out there and go to the amateur nights and try doing that. And I have so much material just from... once again, can't say where I work and stuff, but just experiences from work and things like that. Even recently, I went to a store when I was working, and this girl, I'm walking by, and this girl looks at me. She glances. She looks at me. Dear Lord, my Lord, oh my God. And she's shaking, and I'm like, are you all right? I'm here to save you. Look, and she's like, what happened to you?
Oh,
and I'm like, she's like, she was like, fuck no, I can't believe you, girl. You lost the weight. And I thought she was dying, and she's just laughing. She's just laughing because she couldn't believe how much weight I lost, right? And just experiences like that, I look back, I'm like, oh, you can't make that up, So you use your life experiences to try and bring laughter and joy to people.
I saw that video.
That
right? Was dying. Yeah, she's like, I thought it.
And I said, no.
Oh, but yeah.
And then this guy, I always tell the story. This guy, when I was a or officer, whatever, Yeah. I get a call to this house, and this guy's breaking up with his girlfriend because she was losing weight. And I'm not dating no skinny girl. I'm dating, right? And he's taking her underwear, big underwear, and he's just, I bought you those. Those are mine. And then he looks at me and he's like, you understand what I'm talking about, right, girl?
Hey, man.
What the hell?
What are you talking about?
I came here to help you. Boy, you just call me out. He's like, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Your man's happy, ain't he? I'm like, I'm single. But he's like, I don't want to date no skinny girl. That's what. So fast forward to a couple months ago, I run into him at the local grocery store in there. And I was like, you don't remember me, do you? And he didn't remember me. And I told him the story, and he was like, no, and he's like, you went to the other side. You went to the other side. I got nothing to say to you. I got nothing. He was so mad that I lost the weight, I'm like, come on, man. But
it's funny you say that, because when I was in the Marine Corps, one of the dudes in my platoon, he didn't like skinny girls. He wanted girls with
that meat. That's
some
thick
meat,
and there's nothing wrong with that. Shout out,
and he. We're all hanging out, and there you see him in the club, and he's hanging out, with this specific girl that he's in love with. And, He's happier than picking shit.
Hey, I'll never be petite, and I don't want to be petite, and that's okay, you know. But
No.
I just didn't want to be as big as I got, you know, especially like I said, health reasons and all. I mean, so many doors have opened up and things I could do now that I never thought I could do, and that's the joy that I want to spread to everybody else, you know, and tell people, you know, don't give up. And if they have any questions with the process, they can reach out to me. And yeah, and the fact is, I do my job better now, you know, and I do represent. There's a command. There's like a presence, you know. There's just a confidence that you exude now. That I, you know, I have the uniform on, and now I'm like, I got that much more, you know, presence in my step, swag.
I saw
right?
a before picture of you, and then an after in uniform.
Right.
I think you were maybe in your cubicle
Yes.
or your office.
Yes.
And I was like, holy cow! And I actually showed it to my wife because she knew everything about you coming here today. But I was like, wow, that's
and my partner
huge.
took that photo, and then I was like, wait a minute, I have another photo sitting there just like that one, 120 pounds thinner. Holy cow! And put them side to side, and when you see that, that's when it's the wow, you know,
the
yeah,
wow picture.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's been such a wonderful experience. So grateful that you do what you do when especially getting Travis on, and then the next person that came on, you to be able to share people's stories and just get on here and let people talk about, you know, them and their life and what they're going
about
through.
Me, yeah, it's about
people need
your stories
to be able to have this platform. So and it's just wonderful that you're doing it. You know, so
thank you, and I'm, like I said, I'm blessed. It keeps me humbled. But when I first had this idea, as far as the equipment, like I don't have money for all this stuff.
Right.
And I brought it up to a friend of mine who owns this real estate company, and I said, "Hey, would you mind donating or maybe sponsoring? And every episode, you know, I'll shout you out and I'll talk about your company." And he was like, you know, because of the position he's in and what he does, he was like, "Yeah, absolutely," like without hesitation. I've known him through years through other mutual friends, and till this day, I'm like, "Tommy, thank you so much for helping me start this." You know?
And that's what Simpatico?
Yeah, Simpatico Real Estate.
Simpatico Real Estate, shout out.
That's my dude. I mean, they have any real estate, commercial properties really throughout the whole West Palm Beach, if not outside of Florida.
It's
They're
amazing.
huge.
It's amazing how little help from little people and the little or in huge help, but just everyone reaching out and helping people, how it spreads.
Absolutely.
It becomes like infectious.
Yep.
You know,
I love nothing more than to see other people succeed.
Me too.
And if I can help you get to wherever you want to get, wherever you need to be,
correct.
Like, hey, that's why I said this is a platform, not really a podcast. It's a platform for you as a guest and other people that are in the future lined up.
Right.
It's for you guys to tell your stories, and hopefully it has some kind of impact on some person that may be watching,
correct,
or hearing the episode and say, "Shit, if she did it, if he did it, if he went through all these trials and tribulations and turn a negative into a positive,
100%.
Boom, we did our job.
And that's why I always say my job's not done in just losing this weight, and then that's it. Like if you don't share your story and just empower others to do better for themselves, then what are you doing? You know, then it was all for. Yeah, I did it for me.
Sure.
For the first time in my life, I was doing something for me to make me feel better and be healthier. But now that I'm at that point, I need to share.
Yeah,
I need to spread that love. I need to let anyone know. Reach out to me on you know, Joe 50 on TikTok and there'll be the link there. Any questions
we'll
you have.
put all that stuff
if you are considering this weight loss surgery process, there's not just the sleeve, there's the bypass, there's the lap band, there's other options. For you. Please reach out to me, and if I don't know the answer, I will get you the answer. If you just need to talk or whatever about anything, I'm here because we're all in this together. I always say at the end of my videos, we got this 1 pound at a time, right? So just 1 pound at a time, 1 day at a time, and that's all you could take.
Sounds like a T-shirt.
I know everyone's like, "You're gonna do merch? You're gonna get some merch line?" And I'm like, "Merch line? All right, well maybe."
Yeah, you never know. All you can do is try. Right? It's a leap of faith.
There's
when
a
you do
shirt.
stuff.
There's a shirt out there with a stomach, right? And there's like 80% of it. There's a cut on it, and not like a picture of an actual stomach, like a cartoon.
Right.
And it says, "We are never, ever, ever getting back together."
I like it.
I love it. I want to do something like that because that's gone, So, it's been such a life changing journey. Like I said, if anybody needs anything, reach out to me. And I will make sure that I direct you onto the right path. So that's all I can do.
That's
the
what's
journey.
up.
The journey continues in my weight loss story. So,
Last question I have for you.
of course,
What advice would you give somebody that's in your position back then? What advice would you tell them as far as whether go talk to somebody, whether give me a call, or
if you're right now hearing this, when you hear it, and you're overweight and you're struggling and you are in the position I was in, where, and like I said, weight loss surgery isn't, I got to lose 20 pounds, right? You're 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds overweight, right? There is requirements. Your BMI has to be a certain amount. You have to have had other underlying issues, right? There's other things that go along with it, which we could talk about when and if the person wanted to go down that road.
Right.
But if you're in that dark space right now, just know you're not by yourself. You feel alone. You are not alone. Remember, you're worthy. You're not less of a human being because you're overweight. It happens to all of us. 3, you have to want to heal here and here before you heal the outside. You have to. Because if you just get the weight loss surgery, just lose the weight, there's many people that get skinny and are still hurting individuals.
Sure.
And like I said, then you start the drinking or the drugging or something else. You just transfer it. So know that tomorrow's going to come. There's always another time. There's always, I know life's too short. It may not be tomorrow. But know that you're not a failure. You could do it. There are options for you, and it can get better, and it will get better. This is me. I just had the surgery in September. It's only 9 months, and it feels like it flew by. So don't feel like you're by yourself and you're alone and you're stuck and I'm always going to be overweight. Change that mindset first. Talk to somebody. Reach out to, there's support groups online that are free. If you don't have insurance and you can't afford it, there are people you could talk to, myself, and start working on that and know that you can then move forward with weight loss surgery. If you can't afford it, there's weight loss plans and nutritional plans for you that you can drop the pounds. It's always possible. Don't stay stuck, right? It's okay to not feel okay, but it's not okay to stay that way. You have to want to change. You want that desire and love yourself. Be kind to yourself, right? You need to be like, it's okay to be in this position I'm in right now, but I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to do what I can do to get out of it. So, and you can and you will. Just reach out. That's the best advice I can give. I was tired of being sick and tired, and I reached out, that phone call to my buddy, and it just changed my life from there. So you absolutely can do it.
That's what's up. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, please.
Directly
Definitely.
from Joann.
From my mouth.
Been there, done that.
And man, like I said, my love affair with food spans since circa 1986, watching WrestleMania with Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan. The top rope, eating the icing out of the jar. And I look back at my life and it was always, when I was happy, I was eating cake. Or cookies, or there was always food. And it started from there. It's been a lifelong process. So if anyone can do it, and I did it, you could do it.
Boom.
So that's it.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, again, Joann, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Next. I can't wait. Next? I can't wait to see what's next for you as your journey continues.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're definitely gonna stay in touch.
Absolutely, please.
And whenever we've done editing this and we're ready, we'll send you a link. And,
I'd love to.
We'll post
I'm gonna shout it out all over my TikTok. So.
Yes, please do.
All right.
We always take support. We get support from everybody. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.